Welcome to my review of The Expanse. Although I'm fully aware of the fact that the word review may not really apply here, since I'm neither a professional critic or even try to sound like one. This is just me telling you how much I enjoy the show and why. The Expanse is based on a series of novels created by Daniel Abraham and Ty Frank, which I've not read yet, but I seriously considered. The story is set in a future where humankind has colonized the solar system, but split into different factions since then. This is not what I used to call space fantasy like Star Wars, but more of a realistic depiction of a very possible future. It is also not about pseudoscience or space anomalies. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy Star Trek as much as the next man, in fact I love it. Simultaneously though, I hope nobody would ever do something like this again, as so many called sci-fi shows have done in the past. Meaningless techno-bubble and magic devices that breaks the law of physics on a regular basis is still fantasy to me, and not science fiction, like it started out to be in the good old days. For example, on the Enterprise, people are running around basically inside of a giant computer, and they carry around data pads from one place to another. Because the show fails ultimately to consider the actual consequences of the introduced technologies. In reality, replicators, transporters, advanced computer systems, and the mind-boggling amount of energy accessible, combined with something like cybernetics, would turn a human into a being that could literally change and reorganize reality by thinking about it, and could only be described as what we would call a god. Still, we see the crew on the Enterprise running around like fools, doing basically the same menial task like the rest of us do today. Science fiction should be all about the impact of technology on our way of life and what a human being actually is. And I'm kind of sad to see so many modern shows fail on that level. The Expanse, on the other hand, feels first and foremost like an interesting story that just happened to play out in space. But it also deals with the consequences of that fact. Gravity, inertia, and other inconveniences like lack of air or the general hostility of space are always present, lurking in the corner, and advance the plot in a clever way. The Expanse also explores the question, what happens to a human body and mind if you live all your life in the vacuum of space and never experience Earth at all? Most people believe our solar system to be pretty boring. While watching The Expanse though, it feels much more like the diverse and vast place it actually is, with hundreds of worlds to visit. Some of you may know that I work on my own sci-fi universe, which is also set in the solar system, realized with possible near-future technologies. So I am very excited to see something like The Expanse on TV, because I believe we should show people that we don't have to wait for the warp drive to colonize space. I would even propose that we could be there today, for just the amount of money that we used up fueling the wars of the last 50 years alone. And I'm talking about colonies on the Moon, the Mars, and dwarf planets like Ceres, just like in The Expanse. You could book a honeymoon trip around Venus today for the price of a Caribbean cruise, because we are capable of doing that. Since I believe it is indeed our destiny to travel to the stars, I prefer science fiction to inspire us to real-world progress rather than esoteric techno-mumbo-jumbo in made-up magic worlds. The tone and execution of The Expanse reminds me much of the new version of Battlestar Galactica. At least it's pretty close, which is kind of the highest honor you can get from me, because in my book, Battlestar is outright almost perfect in any way. If you enjoy science fiction, you should definitely give The Expanse a shot. Alex Utopia signing out.